While traveling abroad, I've been kicked off trains, kicked off buses, assaulted, yelled at because I didn't understand the local language, couldn't walk properly because I rode a camel through the desert. It was the only mode of transportation available, and so many other things. As Chinese people would say, AOA. But I'm not mad about any of it. Traveling is not easy or pretty, but it's always worth it to me. But I do understand that the things that I just talked about are a huge factor in deciding if somebody wants to take that leap, to go travel somewhere, to go abroad for the first time ever. So, I had an idea for you guys. I have traveled all over the world, and I have done the hard part for you. I've experienced it all, a lot of countries, and I think I've found the easiest city to travel in, but you won't believe where it is. It's in China. Come with me as I take you to the easiest city to travel in, Shanghai. If you want to go to any of these places that you're about to see too, just check the top of the screen. I will put the names there. One of my biggest fears before traveling abroad to a country where I didn't speak the language was not being able to read anything and getting lost. And that actually happened to me in Russia. Everything was in Russian. In Shanghai, that's not really a problem. Most everything has an English equivalent, and it's insanely easy figuring out where things are, or where you need to go at train stations, airports, metros, you name it. Speaking of train stations and airports, Shanghai has a really unusual situation. When you fly into Shanghai, right next to it is the train station. I know I might be getting ahead of myself here since I'm trying to talk you into going to Shanghai, but hear me out. You may even want to take a day trip to somewhere nearby like Suzhou or Hangzhou because it's insanely easy to do. You can just book on the 12306 website or trip.com and you can go anywhere. The sky is the limit in China. Make sure though before you arrive in China, you set up Chinese payment, which can be Alipay or WeChat, and you can hook up your foreign credit or debit cards. For more information on this, just check out the website called TrySino. It has how-tos on how to set up these apps and also use these websites. On trains, you can relax, book the fanciest ticket for cheap if you're just going a short distance, order food by scanning a QR code. That's right, they will literally bring the food to your seat. And I even ordered my son toys when I didn't bring enough. Speaking of getting around, taking a taxi is not only easy here, but I don't think twice about doing it. Let me explain. You can download Didi, find places in English, and the best part, it's so affordable with no tip needed. It's totally different than getting an Uber back home. I don't have to think twice if it's going to break the bank. If I need a car, I just book it. I hooked up my foreign debit card to Didi back in 2018, so it's very easy to use and foreigner friendly. But after you get to Shanghai, what should you even do? You don't have to join a tour if you don't want to. You can do whatever makes you happy and be very picky about it. I will tell you how. When I first visited China, I went to Beijing and I knew I wanted to see the Great Wall, the Forbidden City, the Summer Palace, but beyond that, I really didn't know how to look for things to do. But since then, a lot has changed. Today, there are so many resources to help people travel to and in China, with one of my favorites being TrySino, who is the sponsor of today's video. Just pick where you want to go, what you like, and when you're going, and TrySino will give you a cleanly laid out plan with info on everything. You can ask the built-in AI travel assistant questions and request changes to your itinerary based on what you want to do and see. But what really sets this apart from other services for me are the tips and insights. For example, when I was checking out going to Yuyuan Garden, it told me they're closed on Mondays, to wear comfortable shoes because it's big and the ground can sometimes be uneven. It told me how much tickets are and also how to buy them. But something else that I love about TrySino is their concierge service. You can get real human assistance through WhatsApp or WeChat for help with bookings or on-trip requests during their service hours. It feels like having local backup in China when you need practical help during your trip. So what are you waiting for? Check out TrySino through the link in the description because China is waiting for you. Alright, let's get back to talking about Shanghai. Finding hotels in China used to be scary because at some places they would say they couldn't take foreigners. Y'all, it's happened to me a handful of times, and it was always so stressful having to look in that area for one of the most expensive hotels that I didn't want to book because they were the only ones who could take foreigners. Well, not anymore. every hotel now can take foreigners, and especially in a city like Shanghai, you don't have to worry about them never getting a foreigner before. They will handle your check-in with total ease. And now for the price. For a hotel, the price can fit into any budget that you have, and I would say in China, you get the most bang for your buck. Let me give you a little room tour and show you what kind of place we got in Shanghai. When you see the price, you are going to be blown away. Now to give you the room tour like I promised. When you first walk in, first impression, it's massive. This place is huge. There is a fridge full of complimentary snacks and drinks. In the States, they would charge you an arm and a leg for that. There's an espresso coffee machine, a tea set made in the UAE. It is so beautiful. Everything is very arty in this hotel, which I love. The bed is huge. There's a TV here, a speaker, and then when you go over here, a huge sofa and an amazing view. When you walk this way, there is a circle tub. There is no door for privacy, but kind of what I expect in China. Sometimes the tub is even in the middle of the room. Here's a shower with a beautiful marble bench. There is a toilet. When you walk up, the lid will open automatically. It's a bidet. 2 sinks, his and hers, and also free toothbrushes, a shaving kit, a comb, and cotton buds, toothpaste. They always give you water. You can always ask for extra. A huge area for luggage, which is fabulous. I love this. What do you guys think? When I went to the States, I had reverse culture shock because in China, hotels are so affordable and you can get a lot of bang for your buck. But in the States, when we flew into California, I paid $200 for one night there and the room was so small and they offered me nothing. So let me know, what do you think about this room? I love it. An anxiety of mine while traveling Europe was, what am I going to eat for breakfast? Because that's my favorite meal of the day and I'm picky about what I like. I ended up going to bakeries, but in China, you won't have to venture out to find what you like. Most hotels will offer so many Western options for breakfast, so you'll definitely find something you like. There's always coffee, of course, and you'll be totally set for your day after having a wonderful brekkie. But beyond that, what else can you eat? I have to admit that while traveling abroad years ago, I found comfort in finding McDonald's. It was something known, I knew what I liked, and I knew what to order. It was the only American thing I could really find abroad. But in China, that has totally changed. First things first, there's way more than McDonald's in Shanghai. Shanghai has Popeyes, Five Guys, Shake Shack, and so much more. A lot of the big brands that you know have made it here. But let's talk about the places you don't know, because those are going to be the most interesting. Okay, so first things first, menus have huge pictures on them, so even if the menu isn't in English, you can just point to the picture you want. Also, do you have worries about learning Chinese to order? Don't. So many people here speak English. Can I order in English? Yeah, that's great. Even when I try to speak Chinese, they answer in English. There are so many Western food options that are authentic in Shanghai. It's gonna blow your mind, but be warned because you're gonna find the real danger in China, and that's gaining weight because the food is so good. But for my adventurous people, there are so many Chinese options as well. You can travel to other Chinese provinces through your stomach here. We ate at a Yunnan place that was incredibly authentic, had local Yunnan mushrooms they served, and the meat was so good and tender and flavorful and spicy. I loved it. I was addicted. I ate so much, and guys, I really don't even eat meat. And if you're a vegan or vegetarian, don't worry. There will be tons of options for you that will suit your needs. No matter who you are or what you like, Shanghai will have an event or place for you. 2 events I attended in the past were SneakerCon, which is all about sneakers and sneaker culture, and ChinaJoy, which is Asia's largest digital entertainment and gaming expo. I even saw one of my favorite artists perform here, LMA, and it was magical. There's also Disneyland, an ancient water town, beautiful Chinese gardens, and more. But what about nightlife? When I'm in Shanghai, I am out literally every night I'm there. And no, this is not a usual thing for me. There's just so much to do. They have events on weekends and weekdays. We saw a live performer from California perform at a jazz bar, and we went skating at a skating rink that was Stranger Things themed. There are so many cool bars everywhere, cafes, and places to go that will make you stay out way past your bedtime. But here's what really used to scare me about places when I was traveling alone as a woman abroad. I would always wonder, is it safe? And I have to tell you about Shanghai at night as a woman alone. The truth of the matter, it's absolutely safe. If you don't have anyone to travel with you and that is stopping you from going, don't let that be a thing. You can do it alone. It will be the trip of your dreams and you won't have to look over your shoulder or worry about people stealing like you would in other countries. Living in China has actually made me feel like I'm still at home when I'm outside. I'm very relaxed and carefree, and I love it. That feeling to me is freedom. Thanks so much for coming with me on this trip in Shanghai. If you want to see more places that I travel to or behind the scenes when we travel for work, let me know. Thanks again for watching and stay tuned because there's lots more coming soon. Peace.